So anyway, happy holidays. And here we go. Recently we had a pump in Bitcoin and then a drop. And that's because we're in no man's land, as you'll see in the chart explanation. But the real interesting thing is not the stupid leverage traders getting smoked, but what the Fed's doing. This is far more important, and this could have extreme ramifications.
Who's ready to see the Epstein files? I feel like Stevie Wonder. How about that, huh? Wow. Look at that. Now we finally know. It's good that they finally decided to tell us what the truth is, and we can finally have justice for these victims. Thank God for that, right, guys?
So the most corrupt and insane government we've ever had in the United States went over and did that. They actually did that. They didn't release the Epstein files. They redacted everything, and it's just complete chaos in the States. But at the same time, they're basically taking over tankers from Venezuela, and the latest one is going to be very interesting because this tanker is actually owned by China. So how is that going to work? Tell me. Now, what's ironic is it looks like China is behind a lot of the selling of Bitcoin from the Asian exchanges and the timing of it all. It seems like it's very much orchestrated from the Reds, from the communist China, the CCP. So if that's the case, great. Keep selling, because all they're going to do is put it into the West's hand. Bitcoin is the future. And China, sell all you have, please. That's all I can say. So anyway, that's kind of like what I see going on. We're in a state of chaos, but you know, what can you do? That's life. That's the current way things are. It's crazy. Anyway, enjoy the video and happy holidays. Good morning. Okay, here we are with Bitcoin, and it's near the holidays. Today is the 21st, Sunday, and I think, Christmas is what? The 25th, so that's Thursday, basically. We're not far away. But anyway, here we are with Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you the charts. We had the initial break, as I've repeated. I'm going to repeat this again because I'm basically a broken record. We broke the trend line here. That's important. We have resistance right here, and we created this volatile range, and it's just chopping, basically. This is not its real resistance. This is just its short-term resistance. This is a chop zone for leveraged, traders who don't have any patience to basically get chopped up in, basically. So it'll go down and up and just oscillate around until finally going back to these levels up here. More than likely, statistically speaking, this is what has to happen. It has to test up these levels up to 98 all the way up to 104. It just has to do that. And the reason why is because it had a break and had momentum to the downside and then does the oscillation. I've seen this in thousands of charts, multiple times in different variations. And so that's what I'm looking for. Until it gets to these levels up here, it can't really go down here. Let's go down in the chart. It can't get down to here. So if it wants to go over and do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and retrace to the 61.8, fine. But it has to retest up here, up to these levels up here. And that's just what happens the majority of the time. I go off of statistics, not what I think or what I feel. It's not it's not the way I trade. As you know, all the years that I've done this, since 2017, I think, with VCT when I started, during that summer, this is the way that I've traded it. And I've been in Bitcoin even before then, since like 2015. So ever since back then to where we are today, I've seen countless charts. And this goes for actually 30 years of my trading experience. I've seen what the charts do the majority of the time. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for us to trade back up to here, and then people are going to get excited, and they're going to be like, oh, we're going to go back up and just break up to the upside. Well, I'm going to tell you that that's no longer high probability. Before, when we held above this level here, we were likely to break out to the upside. The odds were much favorable, but they're not. Once we broke this trend line, the odds are now closer to 50-50. And it's still slightly to the upside, but it's less so, is the only way we could put it. So we'd have to break these levels here in order to actually do that. So if you can break the 111, that would be a sign that we could get an upside move that would throw everybody out, off the, throw them out of bounds, and they wouldn't understand, and then you can get an accelerated banana move out of nowhere. That's what you would look for. But for right now, all the way from the 11 all the way to the 98, this is your resistance zone. And has to retest the trend line at the very least. So don't be surprised if we get a move up. And it's not going to be the start of the new bull market, but you're probably going to hear that narrative go over and be said on Twitter, because it's what they do. But anyway, after we retest this, we're a 50-50 chance that we're going to go all the way down to here. That's just what's in the chart. So I don't have to go over that. I've repeated that before. That's what we're looking for. I'm just staying out of the way. Let the leverage traders go over and get chopped up in here. They're doing a good job of that. I've seen a few posts that are just, I shake my head to, but whatever. The next one, let's go to Zcash. Zcash, not really a super interesting chart, but let's see the possibilities. So you went here, we went above there, showing some strength above that 440 zone that I was looking at, dropped back down, then went back up to where we are right there, and are pulling back a little bit. What kind of patterns could we make? Well, let's go over and look. This looks like it's possible. And I'm going to use a yellow line because this is not really, it's not really anything. I would make it blue, but it's not really a buy, Whoops. That's possible. So that's one scenario right there, is we can get a butterfly-like pattern right there. And of course, this is just predictive. This is not saying what's going to actually happen. We could also get a move to where we go more of a zigzag, like upwards, up to higher numbers up here. But the overall inclination is that we are at some point in time, going to go all the way back down to here, down to the 224 level. And again, I'm not doing anything with this. There's nothing for me to do. I don't see anything of interest in there. So I'm just watching what it's doing in price and just watch it basically. Metaplanet, very positive. It is building. This is the last buy area down here. I'm spacing these out correctly, I believe. And you know what I'm going to look for? I'm going to look for us to get a move at some point in the future, which we'll see what happens, because Bitcoin is kind of like, this is why one of the reasons I would be more positive on Bitcoin having an upside break out of nowhere, because it would be something that would be unexpected, is all I can say. Especially with the bearish sentiment and mentality that we had for such a long time. It seems like the past year it's been either going sideways, even on new highs. It hasn't felt like a bull move. So if it did break out to the upside out of nowhere, these are the kind of numbers that you're looking at. This is the one that's going to benefit the most from, and nobody's expecting it to. That and the fact there's probably tons of shorts that are going to have to cover. So to get a move above the 440s, I would say, would not be unlikely at all. So I'm very positive on that. Also, I'm positive on GME. I think Ryan Cohen might not be a good hedge fund trader, but he has a good idea, I should say. He might not use his capital correctly. I don't agree with it. But he has a good thesis for value, is the one way I would put it. And I think he's a smart buyer in the sense that if he gets the breakout to the upside, he's going to clean up. And that's just a very likely thing. And the upside potential on this is very high on a percentage basis, for sure. This is an easy free money trade. Let's put that in there. Let's put that in there. So I'm going to designate it that. I think that's important. It definitely is a free money trade. And I've not stated that, but it's just a matter of time. It's going to break that trend line. So this is one that I like simply from a value basis. Even though I don't like the person, the CEO, it's kind of the unknown variable there. But he has a good value proposition. And against all the stupid shorts from these big companies, I think to burn them, I think there's another opportunity to smoke them out. And that would send it all the way back up to the 60s with ease, and maybe even higher. We can go over and get some craziness there. So that would be an interesting proposition. Okay. Other than that, there's nothing out there. I'll talk about silver. I've added, you've already seen the post. I've added to my silver short at 67, where is that? 66.51, 66.51, right? Okay, my brain's short-circuiting. 66.51, and then above 69 would be the next one. I'm spacing about 250 for each entry, and I'm just basically building my position. I'm in no rush. You know what I'm looking for as far as my target goes, down to the 48 range, the mid 48 range, and I started just under 64. So yeah, it's got a nice curve upward, but you know the pattern here, and I'm not going to try to predict exactly when it's going to go. It has a very positive curve right now, and then all of a sudden you can get a flush out of nowhere. And that's what we've seen many times before with trades. People who've been around for the past, 8 years in VACT? Yeah, it's been a while. I've been in Bitcoin and Ethereum since 2015. So, yeah, it's been a long while. That's what we're looking for. Nothing's changed. It's an uninteresting trade. People might be. I had a few people not happy about the idea. I don't know why, but people weren't happy when I was buying in this range down here, under $12, because of the pattern that we had right there. So, whatever. And we had the full move. So, yeah, that's what's there. I don't make up the charts, I just follow them. And other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. And I'll see you guys after Christmas. Merry Christmas.